Hi guys, in this video I'm going to discuss about TextBox Constructor in ASP.NET. So in my last video there I discussed about TextBox. So there I used designer mode. So at here designer mode there I described how to use and what is the standard property of TextBox in my last video that I discussed. So this video I'm going to discuss about how to write a text box, and then I'm going to discuss about text box constructor uses. So at here this time going to use source. So at here the first is here title, it's written or text box constructor example. Now here after I'm going to write at this point inside the form or some important tags as well as at here controls. So first I'm going to use at here h4 tags. So at here h4 tags. So this is the example at here text box constructor example. So at here this will display there. Now the next is at here here after let's use ASP here column, and here you can find the placeholder. So placeholder you can find now here after ID. So ID that required, and here give the ID at this point PLC. Now here after this should be run on the server, so write run it, and here in double quote server, and here after slash and close that. Now here after we need to add some BR tag. So whatever the controls, next control, so that should be display into the new line. So BR tag. Now here after the next thing is going to add by writing code button control. So add here there is a button control. Now here let's write ID. So ID add here btn, and here text should be displayed. Here you can find text. So that should be display submit. So text should be display submit here. Now here after you can find on click event, and here after equal to and double quote going to write and here submit, and here submit underscore click. So submit underscore click, and here after so run it, and here this is server. So this will run on the server. Now here after close that. So button ID btn. Now here after the next is at here going to use BR tag. So BR tag, and here after writing at this point ASP, and here column, and here label control. So label control, and here ID, and here double quote MSG. So ID of label control going to write MSG. Now here after let's use run it, and here that should be run on server. So what the run it server and about the HTML, this talk tab HTML, this alt tag that I discussed in my one video. Here you can find this. If you have any confusion, you should check at here. Dot tab important HTML. Why should we use run it there? Now the next thing is, so after completion of this code, so here you can find designer. So there is one placeholder, there is one button control. Here this is at here label control. Now here after let's go to the map source, and here after the next thing let's go up, and here inside head section going to write rest code. So at here first we need to add here a script. So a script tag that required. Now here after the next thing is, so I'm going to write at this point protected. So at here protected, and here void, and here page underscore load, and here object and center. So here you can find object going to write center. So at here going center it's not displaying because we need to write at this point after escape we need to include at here run it or server. After that you cannot find any kind of error. So object center, now it's okay. Now here after let's write event args. So about the event args, everything I discussed the earlier video. So at here giving a. Now here after let's use open and close bracket. Now here page load, and here after going to use text box. So at your text box, and here going to write at this point first is txt. So txt is the object of TextBox class. Now here after creating the constructor of TextBox. So if TextBox is in bracket, here this kind of things, let's use txt and here press dot. So here you can find id. Now id here after let's give the id. So giving the id name is id1. Now here after that next thing is txt and here columns. Going to use columns. Now here after the column should be giving at a 50. Now here after the next is going to use placeholder. So if you press dot here you somewhere you can find controls. So add here controls. Now here after dot, so controls add here going to add. So which control? So txt. So when you are using add here or creating object, so object should be add. So add here let's include txt add here. Now here after the next is here again going to write at this point protected. So protected that required, and here after protected white, and again going to write at this point this time submit underscore click. So going to include submit underscore click, and here object, and here sender, and here after event argse. Now here after the next thing is, so at here see submit underscore click. So this is the event name on click. So when you click on button, so there is one event file. The name is on click. Now here after the next option is, so going to create again going to use text box, and here giving at here txt2. Now here after the next is, so it should be at here going to write this point at placeholder PLC, and here after let's use find control. So this going to find, so at here passing the id1 value. So id1 value. Now here I'm getting the some kind of error message. Search the current naming container or server control specified ID name. So at here an explicit conversion exists. So there is some cannot implicitly convert to type. So this is the text box tab, and this is the different. So ID PLC. So PLC is the comes from placeholder. So we need to do one thing. I'm going to convert this placeholder into the text. So for this we need to use our typecasting. So at here at this point need to write to text box. So text box, and here. So now hereafter there is no any error. Now hereafter let's use MSG, and here press dot. Press dot. Now hereafter let's go give at here text. So MSG text. Now hereafter we need to write at this point text box is generated. Like this kind of message this will display. Text box is generated. Text box is generated. Now hereafter let's use br tag and close that, and here. So at this after that let's use at here entered and here plus. So at this point here there is an extra thing. Let's use plus to concatenate everything. Now hereafter let's use at this point text and here dot, here you can find text. So there this is the example where I'm using at your source, and I written this out code. So it's time taking things, but I need to write all these things. Then you get the idea how to write this all control. So first if you are going to write this, so first you have to mention this all controls. Now hereafter let's execute and check. So at here it's currently running here, or Google Chrome it's open. So see at here this is our TextBox constructor. So here you can find h4 tags. So by using h4 tags, so at here this is a displaying our TextBox constructor. Now here after placeholder Now here after button control and here going button control and then whatever let's write at here something in text box. So at here going to write hi and here guys. So here now if I click on submit, so here there is a one button submit click on click event fired, and here you can find text is generated. So text is generated and here I enter hi guys. So add a on-click event that fires by using button control. So add here label MSG. Now here after ID is the label of MSG. So add here when a page loaded, here after there is one object it's created at this point txt. So ID is set here ID and here columns 15. So this is add here size of the columns 15. Now here after control dot add. So we should add when we are using add here creating any object of TextBox console. So hereafter we need to add. So object is added. Now here suppose if user is click on those buttons. So here there is a button event on click button event that fire. So at this point there is one TextBox object is created, and here since PLC find object. So at here I am passing ID1. So ID1 it's come from ID1 is the ID of text box. Now hereafter text on find control, say what the find console search current naming container for a server control with a specified ID. Now here I am using PLC placeholder. So placeholder different control. So by using text box at here, so this is a tag casting. So by using this, so this is now converting your text box. And whatever the things is, so that will go to the text too. Now here after MSG, so MSG is the label, ID of label. So here you can find MSG is the ID of label. Now here this will display text is generated, and here text is generated enter text. So at here text txt. So whatever the contents that comes to the txt, so that will, so at here first that display text is generated enter at here this hi guys. So let's stop and execute one more time. So at here going to execute to Chrome. So once again now here going to enter something on the text box. So this is the H word, and here this is the at here text box. So at here writing something like CSAP tutorial. So CSAP tutorial going to write. Now here after the next is going to click on. So on click that event fire. So here you can find. So at here text is generated. Here after BR. So BR used to put something in the new line. So after putting the line here, this is displaying enter, and here what text that I enter at here CSAP tutorial. So enter and here CSAP tutorial that displaying. So this is the things. So that means at here whatever the content that I return. So this will go to the text for txt2. Now here after that display at here txt2 text. So text property of txt that's going to display. So this is the things here. So I hope guys this video is helpful for you. So now in this video it's over. So thanks for watching. See you next video. Thank you.